Welcome to AIO Tech Studio. In this tutorial, we will see how to insert a dynamic comment box through VBA. For this example, we will be pulling relative information from the table and inserting it to the comment box. But before we start, here is our intro. If you are finding us for the first time, do subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video. For the purpose of this tutorial, I have prepared a dataset which contains all the information about the employee. This is an official Excel table and the table name is employee. So if you have a wide data set and all the information doesn't fit to one screen, you have to scroll horizontally to view all the information. So one solution is that to pull all the information into the comment box. And this comment box will be dynamic. So if you change any of the information within the table, the latest information will appear in the comment box. You can even pull information from other data source and write it back to the comment box using VBA. The whole idea of this tutorial is how to write a dynamic content into the comment box using VBA. Before we see the setup of this sheet, let's see how to insert a comment in a cell. To insert a comment, right click on the cell and select comment. Since I am using Microsoft 365, I'll insert a new note. Inside the comment box, you can type whatever text you like and also resize the comment box. When you hover over the cell, the comment box will appear and when you move out, it will disappear. So now let's see the setup of this sheet. The employee information is kept in an official Excel table. The table name is employee. The row highlight happens with the conditional formatting. I have a separate video on how to highlight the active cell row. I'll put a link in the description box. Do check it out. Inside this sheet, I have two hidden rows which gives few parameters about this sheet. The start row, the selected row and the last row. The first parameter is the start row and it is determined through this formula. It is the first row of the employee table. The second parameter is the selected row. It is written via VBA and it gives the row number of the active cell. And the third parameter is the last row. It is also determined through a formula and it gives the last row number of the employee table. I have a similar setup of parameters in a different video tutorials. How to create a customized form. Do check out the link in the description box. Now let's see the VBA part. For that we'll go to the developer tab. If you do not have the developer tab active, just right click on the ribbon and click on customize ribbon. Make sure the developer tab is checked. To open VBA editor, go to the developer tab and click on Visual Basic. This will open up the Visual Basic editor. Inside the Visual Basic editor, I have one module named Dynamic, which contains only one macro. But before we see the module, let's see what's inside the sheet number 1. Inside the sheet number 1, I have a sub procedure for worksheet selection change. The first line of code is that if target.count is greater than 1, then exit sub, which means if there is a selection of more than one cell, the procedure will end here and it will not run further. But if there is only one cell selected, then the below codes will run. Here I have taken two variables as long, start row and last row, and assigned the value from the cell A2 and C2 respectively. The next line of code will insert the active cell row number to cell B2. This line will hide row number 1 and 2, which is our support row. And this line will clear all the existing comments from any cell of the employee table. And the final line of code in the private sub is if not intersect target, which is our active cell, and the range A start row colon A last row. This is our ID column of the employee table is nothing, then the dynamic comment macro will run. So basically in this line, if the active cell and the ID column of the employee table intersect, then the dynamic comments will run. Now let's see the dynamic comment macro. The dynamic comment macro sits in dynamic module. In this macro, I have taken two variables, one as long and one as string. And here I have assigned this value to both the variable. The first variable is the selected row, which gets the value from the cell B2. The second variable is the text comment. This variable goes inside the comment box. So let's see how I set up this variable. So the first line is the name inside double quotes, which is a constant. And second, it gets the value from the cell B and selected row. So if the selected row is row number 5, then it will return the value from cell B5. And in the end of this line, I have a code VBCRLF. This VBA code enters a new line into a string. So let's go to the second line. Here I have age in the double quotes, which is a constant, and it gets the value from the cell D and the selected row. And in the end, finally, we have the VBA code VBCRLF to enter a new line. And so on for gender, phone, email, department designation, and notes. So this variable we will use in the cell A and selected row and add as a comment box. We will also resize the comment box width and height. So that's it from the VBA part. I'll request you to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now let's head back to the workbook to do the final testing. So if two cells are selected, nothing happens. But if cell from column A is selected, the comment box will appear. If any other cell is selected, the comment box will disappear. You can download this file from the link in the description box. I hope you like this video. Give this video a thumbs up. Give your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Also share this video with your friends.